Hello and welcome to UMD News for this hour. I am Shimelis Gebremichael. In the headlines, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus re-elected as WHO chief for the second term. Biden administration warns U.S. companies against doing business in Sudan. Somalia's newly elected president assumes office. And now we will move into the news in details. We invite you all to stay with the program. In the meantime, please do not forget to like and share our programs and subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is UMD Media News with me, Shimelis Gebremichael. And now we'll move into the news in detail. First up, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus was re-elected as WHO chief for the second term.
Very difficult to express my word. Mr. President, thank you so much indeed. This is overwhelming. I'm really grateful. I'm very humbled.
Following this announcement, media institutions came up with the famous and catchy title, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus from Child of War to WHO term WHO chief. The news continues on describing that the Ethiopian former Minister of Health and Foreign Affairs has become a familiar face worldwide as he spearheads the global response to the COVID-19 pandemic. The 57-year-old malaria expert has also increasingly been sounding the alarm over the heavy toll that conflicts like the war in Ukraine are taking on global health. After accepting his re-election, Tedros made an impassioned and personal plea for peace. With a trembling voice, he pointed out that he himself was a child of war from a poor family. He recalled experiencing conflict at a very young age and also losing his younger brother to disease due to lack of access to medicine. That I was spared with just pure luck. It could have been me. I could have died more than 50 years ago, he said, describing how the strong emotions from that time rushed back during a recent visit to Ukraine.
Not only I am a child of war, but I come from a poor family. And during that time, actually, when I was very young, when I was around 7 or 8, I also lost my younger brother due to, now my mother tells me that something similar to measles, that he died, my younger brother, but he could have been saved. The reason I'm telling you is I was spared, just pure luck. It could have been me who could have died more than 50 years ago. But instead was my brother. So luck brought me all the way here. If you see it in terms of exposure to disease and poverty. When I visited Ukraine, when I saw especially the kids, I felt what I felt. You may not believe it. When I see the kids, it was the image from more than 50 years ago that came to my mind, so visible, so haunting. The smell of war, the sound of war, the image of war. I can't even understand. So visible, so clear. And it happened many years ago. That's what I don't want to happen to anyone. So I hope peace will come.
Tedros, who has also voiced growing anguish at the conflict raging in his home region of Tigray since late 2020, has cautioned a divided world cannot properly address the mountain of health emergencies. Biden administration warns U.S. companies against doing business in Sudan. The Biden administration is warning Americans against doing business with Sudanese state-owned and military-controlled companies as it seeks return to civilian control of the Northeast African country. The U.S. Department of State, Treasury, Commerce, and Labor issued the Business Advisory Monday that states those who operate in Sudan should be aware of a potential reputational risk and human rights issues associated with conducting business activities with these entities. It added UN businesses and individuals should also be aware of those who have been blacklisted as a special designated national and blocked persons by the Treasury. The African nations has experienced years of economic and political turmoil since the ousting of its former dictator, President Omar al-Bashir, back in 2019. And finally, Somalia's newly elected president assumes office. Hassan Sheikh Mohamud officially took office in the Horn of Africa country after a handover ceremony in Mogadishu. A week ago, Mohamud won the presidency after an intense election, defeating Muhammad Abdullahi Mohamud, known as Formaggio, in a third round of voting. Hassan Sheikh Mohamud becomes the first ex-president of Somalia to be re-elected. In a joint speech at the brief but colorfully prepared handover ceremony, former President Formaggio called on the country's population to support the new leader. He said, "I want to advise them to work with the new president, Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, because the election has been completed and he will start the work and everything he does will be for the people of Somalia." The former president also for the first time confirmed the presence in Eritrea of Somali troops. Although they were sent to Eritrea for training, there were accusations that the troops were involved in northern Ethiopia, where the central government was involved in conflict with the Tigray People's Liberation Front. Speaking at the ceremony, Mohamud addressed the issue of Somali troops in Eritrea. He said, "Today is historical day," adding, "I was handed power smoothly as well as the government files." Mohammed also said, "We will work so that the Somali trainees in Eritrea are brought back to Somalia." The number of soldiers in Eritrea was kept secret until now. Officials say 5,000 soldiers were deployed there. Parents of some of the soldiers staged several protests demanding to know the whereabouts of their sons. Mahmoud, who served as a president between 2012 and 2017, is inheriting a much divided Somalia and a prolonged drought that displaced over 500,000 Somali. Well, with that, we come to the end of the news for today. This is UMD Media News with me, Shimelis Gebremichael. Please do not forget to like and share our programs and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can follow our programs throughout other platforms to become the first to know what is going on in Ethiopia, the Horn, Africa, and the world in general. You can easily reach us via our email address, newstips2020umd@gmail.com. Thank you for watching and have a good one.